as I'm looking at much more deeper this weekend, and I know that there's a gaps that were unfilled. Like it wasn't filled. I mean, I don't think this GameStop will go down to $11, but there I know there's a gap at $17.50. There's a gap at 22. So I'm not. I don't know. If this will go down that much, but I know that the funny thing is it has a very similar spot that AMC also left a gap here. As you can see, there's a gap here, $2.80, and also $2.95. And I think we might come down one more time. And I just wanted to just put it out there. Yeah, I just want to put it out there because I'm looking at not only just GME, but I'm looking at the whole basket stock. I'm looking at FFAI, AMC, COS, GME, everything here. The reason I'm looking at it is because, as you've seen, 2021 January and also back in this May last year, everything blew up together. So this is whole basket stocks, as you guys follow, and that's why I'm looking at the whole trend. GameStop looks pretty fucked up when you look at the chart, but when you look at AMC, it's tracking very similar to last year, early May here. A slight pullback before this huge run, 50%. This thing is gonna be a bigger run this time. And the funny thing I noticed is that not only GameStop has this two gaps here, they opened up here. They have a gap here. I don't know. I personally I don't know if this will go down that much, but this is kind of what I have here. I think GameStop might have come down to $19, somewhere in that range. There's a gap here at $22.37. So there was a setup. There's a potential gap fill there. AMC has a gap opened up here, which means that AMC could potentially pop up to here. And I'm going to show you RSI. So I'm going to show you RSI compared to last year, May. Where the GameStop right before its run, and where so this you see how this thing has a huge pullback right now. That's what they're doing, and they're actually dragging out and taking a lot longer than last year. It took about 7 days to create this small run, whereas right now it took about almost 2 months or a month. And with this pullback, almost more than 2 months. Whereas this one, to create this, it took about only about 7 to 10 days. So right now it's 5 times slower than last year, and they're making a huge run this time. And I'm gonna walk you guys through where is that right now and why there could be a potential. It could short term, like there will be a short-lived pop, but why there will be a potential one last pullback before the thump. I've been kind of waiting for, and then the interesting thing is based on this. Oh, hold on. Based on the speed and based on how they the fractal plays out. The rally could happen on Monday, July 14, like the May 1st run, right? May 2nd run. And I think RC might announce. Oh, sorry, my dog. Oh, you want to come here? Okay, you want to say hi? Okay, hi. Say hi? Okay. Go say hi. There's about 700 people watching right now, so say hi. Say hi. Oh shit. All right, so that's kind of what I'm looking at. And when because the fact that GameStop is going through this pullback phase, they're making a lot of private offerings here, about 2.4 billion, and there's acquisitions, all that stuff. This area, it right now it pulled about from the top up to about oh shit, 1 second, how big was the, I think it's about 20 something percent dip here from the top, 26%, whereas from here to here it about dip about 10%. So yeah, it's a lot more right now, and we might dip one more time, like what happened here, and then I'm gonna walk you through why we are there using RSI, and then waiting for this big thump wave, and that will create the final the pennant formation, triangle formation, and that will lead us to where this will merge to, and then I'm looking at somewhere between July, mid-July, July 14, which is next OPEX week. So if something happen from GME, which will also, if something explosive announcement happen from GME on 7/14, that can lead a whole basket blew up, and I think GameStop might announce a major merger or acquisition with stock that heavily manipulated and heavily shorted in the basket stock. So that's just my opinion, not financial advice, of course. So, and also another thing I wanted to point out is that I know not everyone is into the Bed Bath Beyond, but in July there will be a settlement. There will be a PCR update coming out in July, and we're gonna shareholders will find out how much cash settlement that we will receive in next July, which is coming this next month. So this is extremely important phase, and so so July PCR might come out by a third week, I heard, but it could come out maybe earlier, who knows, or they could just announce something. So I'm looking at somewhere in 714 that RC might use, because that's the number for Teddy Holdings. So I think it's possible that there could be a merger Monday. A lot of people have been kind of speculating for the last 2 years about the merger on Monday, because there's a lot of times that merger announcement happen on Monday. So maybe I can pull this one out here. That maybe I don't know if I have a SEBI here, but it's called a merger Monday. So oh yeah, actually I have it here. So when I pull this one out, I can show you here. So this one was saved last like 2 years ago or something like that. So it's called merger Monday. So a lot of mergers, major mergers and acquisitions announcement happen on a Monday, and that parties involve finalize details over the weekend and make announcement first thing on the morning, Monday morning. And the goal is to, of course, to pass the information about the joining 2 or more companies, and intent is to help the drive the price up, right? So I think it's possible that we could expect merger Monday on 7/14, which drive the price, as what the article says. So which is a good place to bring the stock up, because July 14 is a Monday also, that could be used to announce a merger Monday. Also, that's the OPEX week, right? So if the price move up quite high on that OPEX week, and then we've been seeing there's a lot of gamma ramp is building up here, and I think there's a reason why the GME GameStop gamma ramp is building up. I think there's some guy what's this guy's name? I think I saved something here. yeah, so this guy said like, yeah, what this means is gamma September. Yeah, so there's a lot of gamma is building up, and I think there's a reason why GME gamma is building out. Yeah, this is somebody mentioned about the gamma ramp chart. So yeah, it's building up. It's gonna when something announcement, some major announcement happen, this will make a big move, and I think it could make sense that they could use merger Monday on 7/14 Teddy Holdings number, make a major merger announcement, and which is also the OPEX week. So if the price up, the hedge fund market maker who hasn't bought the shares has to delta hedge. They buy the shares right away, so which bring the price up as well, right? So create a gamma squeeze, pullback by usually Friday. There's a pullback, and heading into July 23rd, another pop here. And I've been mentioning, I mentioned this one last time that when you look at 2021, a big squeeze happened from OPEX plus 7 days, right? So I'm gonna actually bring this one more time, just in case if there's people who haven't seen this thing yet. So I'm just gonna bring this one second. I think oh yeah, this one. So when you look at this last 2021 cycle, and when you kind of analyze the dates when this thing happened, there's a repetition, which was you add T plus 7 days from OPEX week, OPEX date, which is let's say January 15, 2021. That was OPEX date, the final large option expiration day. And if you add the 7 trading days, that will give you a January 27, which is the peak of the entire short squeeze basket stock. And when you look at also May and June, AMC also ran and peaked on June 2nd, which is 7-day trading days from OPEX final OPEX date on May 21st. So when you apply the similar logic here, when July announcement happened and then things start to blow up. By the way, this is AMC, but yeah, it's the same thing as GME. Let's say I'm bringing it back to GME. So if this thing blow up, 714. 1 second, I gotta. Yeah, 714 or 715, 714. So I think it's gonna be 714 because yeah, I'm using AMC. AMC is much more accurate here. But anyway, if this blow up, that's the OPEX date, pullback, and then July. If you add 7 days from OPEX week, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 29th. So this thing will pretty much top off on July 29, which is OPEX week, right? Or T plus 7. So I think it's possible that we could see a very similar type of a January squeeze, like not like January squeeze, but like they're gonna, the market maker, and I think they might repeat that T plus 7 from OPEX kind of that squeeze type of a cycle here, and then it's gonna hit. I think it's gonna hit the 2021 January top level, which is about 125, and they're gonna drop to the May June high. So it makes sense somehow, right? So it seems like, based on my analysis, GameStop wants to create a huge run. That's why they're pulling this whole thing out by issuing a large private offering, like 2.4 billion recent one, and acquisitions of BTC and stuff like that. We might see another private offering. I think there's a reason why there's one more dip here, and they're gonna use that algo. They're using this algo right now. They know, like RC understand this one, and I don't think RC is the only one plays this working on this one. I think they know they're building a huge run, and they're using this, I think, downtrend to and then they take advantage of this downtrend because it's gonna go down anyway, right? And they're forming this similar setup here, but they're making a huge run here. So it's amplified, right? It goes down a high. It goes down much more deeper. Then when it bounce, it will bounce a lot harder, right? So that's kind of what I'm looking at here. You know what I mean? And same as AMC, looking at cause, I just look at the whole basket. As I said, cause is also dipping, but it popped last time like 20-30% last Friday. It dipped back again, right? When you look at the fractals, it's pretty much kind of what they're doing is here. You know, it just goes up and down. Now they're just waiting for the right timing to start the rally. And the cost also based on the fractal, it doesn't look like it, but from here to here it amplified, so which means that the bounce will be a lot higher. So they're right now making a huge run, like seriously, like it's gonna be like big run. And also AMC too. So I'm gonna now walk you guys through what I'm looking at here using RSI, and why I think there might be one more pullback. So I'm gonna just walk you guys through where we went through. So since this rally happened and there's a pullback here, I believe that I knew that we are actually entering a squeeze cycle, because I've been mentioning about this, right? When I look at also the bigger picture, when I look at the bigger picture, we went through a bear cycle. This bear whole cycle, you see there's a huge dip happen. That's here. That's 2020 February. The similar, very same algorithm, right? Same cycle. So it goes down, up and down 3 times, go up and down 3 times, huge flush out. You see the correlation here, and after what happened, it just goes sideways, but it has the volatility. So at that time, back then, AMC did a couple large dilution, right, share offering, and then create a squeeze, and then use that shorts use that to cover their short positions probably, and then the squeeze happened here, and it was very short. As you see, compared to last bear cycle to this cycle, this bear cycle is a lot stronger than this one. And now when I look at the fractals, this whole fractal is complete. This green box is complete. So this accumulation phase, I believe that's complete, and we are entering a squeeze cycle. So we are now entering squeeze cycle, but we are not doing 2021, because I mean we are still in that 2021 I think cycle, but it's just a lot slower, more accumulation. So it's different time. So this bear cycle is done. Accumulation phase is done, right? So that's a fact checked. So now we are heading into a squeeze cycle. But how are they gonna run this thing is the question. So now you go back, and I believe that I strongly believe that we are in this phase, right? Because they're not just gonna run this thing like 2021, because we are in a different environment, right? Market has a less liquidity than 2020 and 2021. Back then, Fed prints money. Right now, it isn't. So the market is dried up already, and that's why the algo is very slow. They're making a bigger run this time. That's why they need more time to accumulate. So there's a lot of factors are involved that I think the speed of algo is extremely slow compared to 2021. So when you understand that and looking at this, my dog is like making his home. So this thing, it rallied from here to here. I use this one as the green box here, right? He's digging his home right now. He's building home like a beaver. So this is the green box. So I'm gonna just use the color just to kind of indicate which one I'm talking about here, and I'm gonna maybe tone this one down a little bit. Hold on a second. Yeah, so this green box is complete. Now we move to the red box that's pulling out phase. So this pull out phase is quite large compared to last year, last May, from GameStop, but I think algo is very similar. So now when you look at this one, so this is 30 minutes on the right side, GameStop, April, May, early May. One more, this is pullback phase before a huge run. So hit here, and now it's pulling out phase. You see how there's a short signal appear here? There's a short signal appear in the exact same spot. There's a long signal appear in the spot where this one also appear. So I found that this is kind of interesting because and then I put a fractals where it kind of matches, and that's how I get. So it shows signal here, which is this first dip. It shows signal here, which is somewhere here. So I kind of put in this phase where, like, yeah, maybe somewhere in the spot like that. So that's kind of what I get, right? So when you look at this, it somehow matches, right? So let's take a look at RSI, right? So so short signal appear here, short signal appear here, right? From the top, pullback, right? From the top, it's pullback. Short signal appear here, short signal appear here. Okay. Now you draw a line, and this thing just hit it. It couldn't go up. Just trying to keep bouncing, but it continued to pull back. And so after this, I want you to pay attention to RSI here 1 second. When they create this, I'm gonna pull out the crayon here. When they create this arch type of a pullback, right? RSI also create this type of arch type of pullback. You see that? All right. You see similar pattern here. When they create an arch type of pullback from here, early June, here to here, June 12, same thing happened here. You see that? How this thing is same? Which means that this fractal is complete. So it's checked, right? So we move on. So next fractal is this one. So you don't divide, sorry. I'm just kind of going through a step by step where we at and what I'm going to expect from this fractal from GameStop last year before it's run, and so I'm just kind of like dissect each part of the fractals I'm looking at, right? And I'm just trying to show you where we could potentially are, right? And I might be wrong here. Yeah, maybe $20 ever again, maybe close. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. Yeah. But I'm just gonna show you here. Like, I'm not saying I'm this is perfect or anything. I'm using AMC because AMC is perfectly following this than GameStop. But GameStop has this similar move, and I'm gonna, once I finish the AMC fractal, I'm gonna go back to GME. Okay, so just stay tuned, right? But it's just same. They're gonna follow same thing anyway. But I'm using AMC because AMC is making a much nicer picture with this same fractals. They're drawing same fractals as a GameStop last year, early May, before it's run. Anyway, so now this fractal is complete, so it's checked, right? This C curve, this type of a C curve RSI is complete, so that's checked. We move on, okay? So next fractal is what? This fractal, go up, go down, right? It goes up, go down, right? It goes up, go down, right? Same thing, right? It goes up, go down. So it's checked. This fractal is also complete. You see this fractal here? This fractal is complete. So I'm checking off each fractal right now, so we know what's going to happen, where we at, pretty much, like, because we, people who are watching this are a lot of option traders, right? So they need to know when is a good option expiration days to buy, right? So I think the time is extremely important here, right? Because yeah, if you don't buy right date, your call option will be worthless. You lose money. Anyway, so you see, check, right? Check. Let me see if I have this check icon. I think there should be an icon. 1 second, guys. There should be like some sort of a. I don't really use icon. I'm just using that flag mark. Oh, maybe that's not good. Yeah, I'll probably come back with this one later, but I remember seeing some sort of a graphics where I can use that to sort of what the hell. Yeah, I'll come back later. I'll figure something out, but for now I'm just gonna use the crayon just to kind of check this off. So this check, right? This is checked, this is checked. Now we are here. So now we are at this I'm going to bring the rectangle box here. So we are now going through this phase, which is this phase. You see? Right? So now you brought the fractals in, right? It's like a Lego piece. There you go. You see that? It might pop a little bit and something will be announced. I don't know what. It could be another private offering, or I have no idea. But there's a setup is there. There's a gap at $2.80. There's a gap at 95 cents. There $2.90 and $2.80. You see there's a gap in 15 minutes. It's a small gap, but there's a reason why those gaps are there, and it matched with the fractal, which means that it will go up by tomorrow. Something might be announced, happen from GameStop or AMC or something like that. They'll pull the whole the basket stock, drag one more time, one last time, before heading into a thump wave. In my opinion, it might not be. I'm not saying this will be. I'm just showing you the RSI comparison between this and that, and you make a decision, right? I can say, we are actually tracking this or not. This just fly right away. Who knows? But I'm just saying that there might be a potential one more pullback, because they're gonna destroy call options, right? So if they're gonna pull this back from here to here, $2.80, that's already 6% drop, right? And if this goes down even further to match with this fractal, about 8%, right? So possibly another 6 to 8% kind of, in between, and then heading into a first pop, right? So this thing is dragging out way longer than this one, but because the fact that the market is very dry, and also they're making a bigger squeeze run here. So that's why it's a lot slower. They're accumulating. So now this thing is checked, as you see. The second box is checked. Now this third box is here. So we could potentially see a dip probably tomorrow after market close. I think another offering happen or something. I have no idea. So I'm expecting a pullback by this Thursday or Friday, right? So that the pullback might end around there, right? And then a pop happened, right? So that's kind of I'm seeing in AMC, same as GameStop, as you see, very interestingly. The GameStop chart looks, like I said, pretty fucked up, but when you look at AMC, you know where GME is at, right? Because they're tracking a same fractal anyway. So I'm gonna open up this GameStop now, and then let's walk you guys through this whole the partial fractal here. So you see there's a rally happen. I mean, it looks weird, but yeah, rally happen. It topped off, and there's a pullback here, right? And then that pullback is here, right? This first pullback, right? This first pullback ends. This first pullback ends, and after that it goes up, go down, goes up, go down, right? When you look at this, I'm gonna just take off the fractal here. It goes up, down, goes up, down. Like it looks like a roaring kitty, right? It's like a cat face, but you see, it doesn't look like here, but it has some sort of a 1, 2, 3 type of a wave here, right? It goes up and down like that, right? I mean, it doesn't look like it, but and then after that, this fractal here, it flushed out. This thing flushed out a lot harder, and that's the I think phase when GameStop did a huge offering, because they know this is the fractal where it's gonna pull back anyway. After that, this thing bounced back up, and then it wants to go up here, so they might play out this fractal here. So if I bring this fractals here, so this fractal is complete, right? So that's checked. So you move on. Checked, you checked. So now this fractal, you see how this thing, I mean, it doesn't look like it, but yeah, that's why I'm comparing to AMC. AMC clearly created that fractal. So it looks like GameStop probably done that fractal here, and then there's a little bit of a pullback phase. So anyway, so GameStop might also move up a little bit from here, right? So you see how this thing go up and come down, and it might go a little bit of a upside by tomorrow, $24.40, and then something happened, and then zoom, right? Something happened tomorrow, market close, right? So there's if I bring the fractals here, it touches about $17.80, but it might not be, like, you know, Buckface said. So but I'm just telling you, there's a gap opened up $22.37, and there's a large not large but medium-sized gap, $17.40. So I don't know what will be announced. I have no idea, right? I'm not like insider or anything. But something happened either Tuesday market close or Wednesday market close. Something happened this week, midweek, that bring the price down one more time, because it's a fractal. It's the same, I think, fractal that this needs to play out, and I think GameStop, I think they might use that to create same fractals here. So they might drop one more time, and then heading into the first dump wave. That's just kind of what I have it here, and like I said, I might be wrong. We're gonna find out this week what will be announced this week, right? So that's kind of GameStop I'm tracking here. So first dump wave could happen maybe June 30 or July 1st. That's the T+7 from Opex week, last June Opex. This first thumb wave also happened May 1st, which is a T+7 from April Opex, interestingly. So maybe something, you know, thumb happen, and then the thing start to launch on, I think, July 14. Like I said, merger announcement usually happen on Monday, so they might announce some merger, or I don't know, they might announce something, I don't know. So and then this will start to fly, and that's the OPEX week. So if announced merger happen on Monday 14, or some big acquisition, something July 14, that's the July OPEX week. If the price surge, the market maker, the short hedges who've been shorting this a long time and they haven't really hedged themselves, they have to buy back shares, which create a gamma squeeze and then bring the price up, pull back a little bit towards the July OPEX week, because they don't want the price higher, because if this goes up to $100 up to this level when July OPEX, they fucked up. So they want to try to do whatever they can to bring the price down a little bit. That's why there's going to be some pullback going to happen around July OPEX week, which is completely understandable. And then the funny thing is, as I told you, that I'm not only tracking GME or AMC, I track whole basket stock. I don't look at FFAI until recently. That as soon as I saw this one, I was like, okay, maybe that could just happen. But somebody mentioned that it could be a basket, some sort of maybe FFAI could be included in a basket for some reason. I have no idea how or when. But when you saw what happened with FFAI when RK came back, this one surged about 7,000%. So I'm just kind of thought that, what, if this is a basket stock, there maybe this give us some information. And then I've been kind of tracking this for a bit, and then I realized it's tracking December run. But right now they're using the same fractal, but as I'm showing you here, this blue box was going through a very similar timeline. However, when you start to move, going through this yellow box phase, this thing start to delay, which means that they're making a bigger run here. And then the first gap up happen also will come from GME and AMC. This first dump wave, the large dump wave I'm waiting for, that thing also showed up in the same timeline in early July, right? July 2nd or July 1st. Also showing in FFAI, a slight pullback, continue to go upside. Large gap up phase is expected on FFAI on July 23rd, which also go back to July 23rd in AMC. That's also somewhere here, so it seems like it kind of matches up, right? So this is July 23rd for GameStop, right? After July OPEX, there's a tiny pullback. So something happened July 14, bring the price up, create a gamma squeeze, and maybe short squeeze, whatever, pull back, try to market maker and short hedges try to pull this back by July OPEX week, because they don't want they want the less the squeeze, but this will continue to squeeze, create a gamma squeeze, delta hedge, which is start happen after OPEX week, which is July 18. So this is July 23rd, somewhere there. Week after, T+3 from OPEX week. So maybe something happened here, continue to go upside, and this thing top off around July 29 in my calculation, and which is a T+7 from July OPEX day. Which is very interesting, because as I mentioned, July OPEX is July 18. If you add 7 days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, July 29, it looks like that's kind of when the squeeze will top off. And then the as I mentioned before, in 2021, in January, when the gamma squeeze or short squeeze, whatever you call it, this thing happened exactly on January OPEX plus T+7, right? so it peaked on that time. Also the June squeeze for AMC 2021, this thing also, the squeeze peak T+7 from OPEX, May OPEX date, right? So just keep that in your mind when you buy option, okay? So I think it's much more safer to buy maybe August OPEX. Just my thoughts, but who knows, this might be delayed, so don't just buy options because because what I just shared with you. Market makers has been delaying things very much. Oh. Oops, sorry. So yeah, but yes, I think, but the number makes sense, right? 714. That's the Teddy Holdings number, and I know that that's what RC's plan is, right? When you type Gematria, Teddy Holdings, that give you 741, right? So 741 is the number for that, and I think I remember even I think 2022 or 2023 GameStop they used that 714 I think number, or I think for NFT marketplace I think they used that number when they launched the NFT marketplace. Anyway, so they used July quite a bit, right? So I think something's gonna definitely happen in July. BBY PCR data will come out also in July, which shareholder will find out the fraud settlements from the large shipping company MSC. What is it? MSC? Is it MSC? Anyway, so large shipping company, and there's Evergreen. There's also the, I don't know if promo executives, the fraud settlements also be there, but a lot of we're gonna find out, right? So I think there's gonna be some catalyst there. If they say like there's about $1 billion settlements, I mean that's a huge surprise for the markets and then also shoulders. So yeah, so something definitely I think will spark around July 14, and I think there's a reason why it's been delaying through towards that at the time. I've been following RC since 2021, so as I'm looking at his plan and what he has done, and using specific numbers, and I think it makes sense that it's possible that we could see some sort of a merger or acquisition or some sort of a catalyst that bring the price up a lot. And I think there's a reason why I posted this one before, but yeah, there's a reason why they're bring the price down this much, because they want to make a big squeeze, because they're making, yeah, basically like the more the price down, the bigger squeeze will be, right? So that's kind of what I'm seeing here. So yeah, FFAI huge large gap up July 23rd based on the speed right now. Also, when you look at FFAI, you see FFAI is also tracking this part, but it's much more stretched out, right, because of the delay, right? And they're gonna go up, come down. They do the same thing here, which what AMC and both GameStop will do the similar thing, right? Go up, come down, right? But AMC and GameStop will have a little bit of a more pullback, I think, whereas FFAI will do more like just kind of go sideways. Also GameStop maybe tiny go up, pull back, cost also maybe from here. I mean, cost already went up, right? So cost already went up about 20% last Friday, come down to 5%. Now it's pulling back also based on this fractal. Using this fractal is the guide, but now there, as I said, some area kind of follow the same speed of the last July algo. However, from this point they start to dragging out. So I took this partial fractal and also just this partial fractal to match the high, to match the speed, and then that give me this one. So yeah, this cost, right? So cost is also making a huge run. Everything is gonna explode like so big. So cost will also go up to like a couple 100% in my opinion. You know what I mean? I mean this thing is gonna be huge, guys. Um, and I'm also trying to figure out like the final short squeeze phase, and which is I think it's going to be very difficult to predict. But right now it's showing October. But as I said, not as I said, as RC said before, he mentioned about the Teddy makes great Thanksgiving again. So I think it's possible we could see in November this giant squeeze phase. But and then who knows? This could be delayed to January 2026. I can't really predict that one yet. But once we know just this phase, once we see this, we start to see one more pullback. We see this first dump. If we start to see this date matching up with what I have here, and also we see this giant rally here, and then pullback phase. Once we start to seeing this, I think then I'm gonna have more the fractal data, right? Match the price, match the speed, and that will kind of give us more hints to determine when the next squeeze phase might be. But who knows? Maybe some area might be delayed, maybe another 3 to 2 months. Maybe some area can be faster, more delay again. So that's why it is extremely difficult to predict when this thing will rally, when this thing is gonna hit, because this is the perfect example here. Look, when I look at FFAI here, right? As I give you an example. This took this blue box, go up to come down to making this triangle shape. This took 19 days in December last year, whereas this one took about 34 days. And after that red one, it took about 12 days here. This one took about 4 days. Okay, but look at this yellow box. To create this yellow box, it took only 3 days, whereas right now it took about already 21 days. And I think I'm expecting this thing takes more about up to 29 days. So as you can see, the fractal in generally it's very slower than last December, but you can clearly see that they're tracking similar to this December fractal. And I think the market makers and hedges wanted to, before they run this thing big time, they wanted to test it, right? So they tested out in December. They also test the cost in July. That's why we see a run by itself, right? I mean, the main run was smaller, but this thing also, I think they did a test, and with this test they're doing it here. Same as AMC. GameStop was a test last year. I think when RK came back, he created fractals with other long forces possibly, and they I don't think RK just came back and just grab money, right? RK came back with other money, I think couple or 3 investors money and other long forces that we don't see, and create this certain fractals, and they left some of the footsteps for us so that we could track that, right? And that's kind of how I see it. So he left the he left the footstep, he left the tracement, and we just have to use that tracement to figure out where we at, where we gonna go, how much it's gonna go, and stuff like that. And it's easier for us now if this is the fractal that RK left, and then we could predict how big is the squeeze going to be, and then when the squeeze going to be, right? We could sort of expect when it's gonna happen, right? But for now, that's just kind of my conclusion today. Just to wrap up is, we might see one more pullback, right? So just to let you know that I might be wrong, right? I mean, I've been wrong many times, as you know, and you don't have to trust this, but I know there's option traders out there that who's watching this, and I think it is pretty crucial to know what can be expected, So yeah, I had a July end of July call options, and I started to sold them, and then I bought some puts for hedge, and then I'm gonna ready. Once I see this dip, I'm gonna sell puts, and I'm gonna start to adding more calls for August OPEX. I think they have a early August options, but I think maybe it's a bit too risky. It is cheaper than August OPEX, but still, it might be risky. So I'm just buying a little further out, month out. Compared to now, it's almost 2 months, maybe a month and a half out. But yeah, I want to wait for that dip, because once you see this much dip, about to maybe 8% dip or something like that, 7 to 8% dip, that will greatly bring the price cheaper for the options, right? So if you see that, it's just a great price to get in. So that's kind of my conclusion. We might see another large private offering, or some sort of I don't know, something happened this week. Something's gonna happen this week. We saw Chewy did a public offering here, right? So I think I post this one today. So Chewy did this offering here. Where did I post? Yeah, so Chewy announced $1 billion public offering, Class A stock, by selling stockholders. So anyway, so they did an offering, right? So something is definitely cooking here. So GameStop or AMC, I don't know. Adam Aaron said they're not going to do offering this year. So maybe this year, GameStop, right? So who knows? GameStop will do the offering here, and then share price drop. If share price drop from here to $17.40, which is still a gap. If they fill this gap, that's amazing. They don't. Yeah, they just go. But it's quite a lot. Like bring the price down to 24% is a lot. But so, how much was this when they offered 2.4 billion here? Okay, so that's already, yeah. So this is about the size of the 2.4 billion. So there might be another 2 billion, right? Who knows? Before they do a possible merger acquisitions here, right? On 741 using the 741 Teddy's holding number. I'm just saying this is all speculation, and I'm just watching AMC just as a base because they're tracking very nicely. The GameStop last year, the May run, So before this pop, right? There's right now, we're going through this pullback phase, and AMC is tracking very, very nicely. So that's why I'm just using that as a base, because GameStop chart looks kind of a little bit fucked up. But yeah, it's very nice. So we passed this, right? We passed this. We're going through this phase. When I look at this was it 2 hour? Was it 1 hour? I think it was 2 hour. I think. Yeah, short signal appear here in the middle. Short signal appear in the middle here. Was it 1 hour here too? Yeah. 2 hour. I used a 2 hour, and then bring the price down. Right. Bring the price down. Pop, pull back. So all this thing is checked, right? So right now we're just going through this phase. So this RSI and the purple thing just slightly move up. This thing goes up, and then boom, there's one more pullback, one more sharper pullback. And once they touched here, there's a gap here as also in AMC, $2.95, $2.80. That gap filled, and then start to shooting up for the first dump. And when I start to seeing all this type of thing play out, I think once I start to see a pullback and then first dump here, I think it's gonna be a great relief how this thing will play out. Because I know that that means it's tracking perfectly here. And then yeah, so far that's what I seeing here based on today's price, based on analyzing RSI over the weekend much more tightly. And then yeah, hopefully this helps, and then hopefully you make a lot of money in August, July and August. I mean, they're delaying so much, so what can I do? FFAI, same thing. Been tracking very nicely last year December. This yellow part is much more delayed right now, much more stretched out, but heading into pop and pullback and heading into a gap up phase in early July 2nd, and then large gap up. It looks like it might happen on July 23rd. Another large gap up could happen on August 11th, which is a peak on August 12th, which is the a week of August Opex week. So it kind of matches right now. So hopefully, finally, this can play out this way. FFAI can be pretty big. This can go up to 500%. So yeah, this one was 250%, but right now it's 2 times bigger than this one. So I think FFI is something that you know, good to look out for. If you just want to play some small bets here and there, it's up to you. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today. Hopefully we'll see how this thing will play out. Are we gonna see a pullback? Are we not going to see a pullback? Are we gonna start to see a run? Who knows? But we're gonna find out this week. And once you see a pullback about 10 to 20%, then you know where it's going to be at, and you know what to expect from here. So that's pretty much it, guys. Have a good night, and I'll see you guys in next update. Bye.